I was saying everything I was saying, and thank you for coming out. And I wanted to welcome you. That was a welcome. Hopefully more people would come up, but regardless of what, this is something that is so important. It can't be judged by attendance. It's not entertainment.
No.
What we're doing is fighting a war. And like I said earlier, before we started recording, that this war we fighting is the narrative of our people. We fighting against white supremacy and oppression in all its new forms. So this is about, and I want to say that please don't get angry with me, not that I would care, but I'm not dealing with no diversionary stuff.
Okay.
Now what I mean by diversionary stuff is we are here for a purpose. That purpose is we want to start organizing so that we can intervene in the lawsuit that the city has against the Waterworks, or either start our own suit. To do that, we have to be responsible for raising the money necessary to be able to pay the legal fees. One thing I think that we do is we depend so much so on white folks giving us the money to fight against them. And that, I don't know nothing about that. That's not my way. My way is grassroots organizing. I'm going to talk to you about the plan, not at the beginning, because, you know, we're going to talk about the case and everything. We'll talk about what's going on over there. I was looking for, waiting on Commissioner Tyson, because she called me first thing this morning and said that she was on her way. So that she wanted to know whether we were still gonna have it. And of course, I mean, just like I said, if this will stop us, then we all need to go home and forget about it. If rain will stop us against these devils we fighting against, if we can't handle a little rain, how can we fight against these people that's so cold and evil and wicked? And it's in their nature. It's in their nature. There ain't no plan that came over to make them like that. They've been like this from the beginnings of time. And that's the battle we have to fight. That's the battle I've chosen in my life. So, as I was saying, excuse me, we don't want any diversion. So, what I mean by diversion is, in the network business, in network marketing, what they do is, you bring somebody in, and they get around to other people and start talking about the program they in, you know. So that's a diversion. And a diversion in this case is if we want to talk about, well, why they didn't do this down at the what's it called? That's a subject for the radio. It's not a subject for us. We got a purpose to talk about how we can do what we want to do, and you either in or you out. But this is not a place that where we calling you to come so you can talk about what Roger didn't do, what Randall ain't doing, why Lily didn't do such and such a thing. That's a diversion, because get people away from the purpose at hand, and that is that we are going to fight as ratepayers. Now, I will say this in field, look at my own rule. I'm a little concerned that politicians be over our lawsuits, because politicians, one of the things about politics is that you compromise. Ain't no compromising in this. It's win or lose. And I'm a little afraid to have them having a lawsuit that's supposed to be protecting us, because they learn the art of compromising. Well, I'm gonna let you have this one, boss, and you let me have one down the road. Right. So we can't have them, and then you gotta have some people who know what they're fighting for. So in that, and we wanna, like I said, I'm hoping that by the time I finish, which shouldn't be too long, with this introduction, that Commissioner Tyson will be here to talk about what's going on over there now. If not, all of us, a lot of us have had contact with people who we know that's over there that know what they're doing, and they're reporting it back to us, but we don't have a comprehensive campaign for the community to know that this is straight up racism, white supremacy, and racism. And so I want to begin with the narrative, because I was at the Waterworks for 6 years. I was there before, I think it was about 5.5 years. I was there before they changed from a 5-member board to expand the board And then, after they've expanded the board, now what they've done is completely taken it over. And I just want to give the history on that. The state of Alabama did not give us no effing waterworks.
Okay.
The citizens of Birmingham bought the waterworks in 1952. They had an option to buy it from a private owner, American Water. And they exercised that option and did a $20 million bond deal in 1952. I was on the program with Dr. Huntley at 6th Avenue Baptist blog program for the African American education. And I asked Dr. Huntley, you remember, Dr. Huntley, how much dollars there would be in today's amount?
Yeah. Come back to me.
$240 million
There you go.
in today's dollars. So what happened was they exercised the option, the citizens in the city of Birmingham exercised the option, and they bought it from a private company. It's like me buying Gowdy, Salford, Smiths. These are black contractors in the back. They had a company. So like me buying a company, and I got a corporation, and I'm setting up in my corporation name. I got to go through the state to do it. You got to file papers with the state to incorporate. So what the city fathers did at that time, the city fathers were white. They said this, well, we don't want politics to get involved in the operation of the water, so let's set it up so it can be independent. Let's set up an independent structure so they can govern it without having to deal with politics. So what they set up was the Birmingham Waterworks Board. They set it up under a statute that was like a 1948 statute in the state of Alabama. When they set it up, they did that to protect it from politics, but like I said to the Senate committee, when they pushed this takeover bill through, little did they know that politics wasn't going to be the problem, race was. In 1979, when Dick Arrington got elected, they started, at that time, putting in bills every year. Well, I say it this way, Dick Arrington told me that every year he was mayor, they put in a bill to take the waterworks. And he was mayor for 20 years. Mayor Barnard Kincaid said every year he was mayor, they put in a bill. He was mayor for 8 years. Since Randall been mayor, they don't put in 2 bills, so that's 30 years. So this is a plan that they've been working on for 30 years. It didn't begin until the black man became mayor of the city of Birmingham. They decided. And things have changed because at that time what we were dealing with was Dick Arrington had power as a Democrat. But then another black man got elected president. And he had a guy walking around with him that was black, that they had went and recruited. The Republicans had recruited him to run against our congressman, historical congressman, and then recruited him to run for governor. And he was running around with Barack Obama, but he was telling people he was going to run for governor. When that happened, all of the whites then went over to be Republicans and giving them the super majority. So they had the super majority, so that makes them being able to do that. So I'm going to close this part out on this note. So where's I'll take our $20 million in 1952 dollars. You can have an organization, I'm talking about the assets. Most of the people don't know what the Birmingham Waterworks is about, else we'll be tearing up stuff. We'll be, pulling stuff off the wall, and they had to call the police on us, and we just knew how much it was worth. Let me give you an example. Not only the $20 million that we paid for it in 1952, which is equivalent, according to my professor and mentor, $240 million in today's 2025 dollars. $240 million, but at that time it was only in Birmingham in 52. We hadn't bought a property in 5 counties then, lakes in 5 counties. When I was on the board, I was told that the cost to replace a mile of main pipe is that big pipe that runs down the middle of the road, was $1 million a mile. That was before the pandemic. It done probably went up to about $2 million now. Everything done went up since the pandemic. So we have, 4,000 miles of main pipe.
Okay.
So, Doc, can you help me out with this? You got your phone there, what's it called? You don't have to remember that. 4,000 times 2 million is what?
800 million. 800 million.
There you go. 800 million, well, that's how much, it seems like it's a little shallow.
What was the figure?
It's 4,000 miles of main. 4,000 times 2 million. Got to be,
A thousand million is a billion.
a billion.
So that's
Got to be in the billions.
Yeah, 1,000 million.
Times 2
1,000 million is a billion.
Times
2 million.
Times 2.
800 billion.
8 billion. It's $8 billion.
It's a number almost we can't calculate. What you come up with?
8 billion.
8 billion. So we got $8 billion worth of pipe that we own. That ain't talking about the cars. That ain't talking about the machinery. That ain't talking about the plants. That ain't talking about the 240 million that we paid for it in today's dollars. So they decided they just don't come in and take it. And then I didn't want, I can't say I didn't want anybody from the legislature here, but these, our legislative brothers, and I don't want to get into no words and violate my own rule. But they feel like state law is God. They done conditioned them today. It's pretty airtight, it's pretty airtight. No, it ain't airtight. They ain't went and took them from Alabama Power.
Okay.
They ain't went and took them from nobody else. No other waterworks in the state have they took control of using white supremacy lies. Everything that they blame the boards for doing, they doing worse of. But I guess that's white folk business, so they can do what they want to do. It ain't the same as us. But they did all of this just so they could be in a position where they can say, by the state, we got the right. So I hope y'all understand and in my passion, y'all understand what I'm saying. You cannot, it's an issue of contract. If I have a contract with Gowdy to buy Gowdy and I incorporate it under William Muhammad Inc., because I got to go to the state to get it incorporated, they ain't got no rights that say who can be on my board.
All right.
These are the things we got to address to the people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close on that note, and like I said, hopefully I'm still looking for Commissioner Tyson, but I want to say what's going on over there now, and what we want to do is, it's gonna take, right now, we looking at $10,000 we need immediately to file, to get in the lawsuit, or to get it started. And my idea is that I think that black organizations and black people should put up this money. I don't know nothing about it. I can go to white folks and ask them. I can't go to Charlie and ask him, would he give us $10,000?
Don't want to go anyway.
I can't do it. So I think that we should be able to raise that. And what I'm looking at is, I invited you here today so that we can ask, I got a list. And on my list, I got like 20, 25 organizations. I want to ask each organization to raise $1,000. And I can tell you how to do it grassroots style. And I'm going to be fair with you and tell you that most of the time outside of the mosque, it don't work because black people feel like white folks supposed to finance their stuff. They work in the mosque. And I've been doing it for how long? Well, what, 40-some years. And it worked in the mosque. And that is, if we would raise $1,000 each, all we need is math. And I'm going to get into that a little later because I don't want to put y'all to sleep. But it's simple math. And the simple math is this. We pledged them that committed to save Jefferson County to $1,000, the first $1,000. Hopefully we can raise that today. We can pass the hat. 10,000 feelings hat, that we need to raise. 10,000 feelings dollars, a sign from God. That's what we need to raise today. So maybe we can pass this hat and get that 10,000 today. Because we don't know who in there. We don't know what angel in there, that type of thing. But it's simple math. Everything is math, and math is everything. What it is, they committed to save Jefferson County, and we get 10 members who would go and raise $100. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all and clairvoyant. That's not the word. What's the word when you're not hiding anything? What's the I'm saying? Transparent with y'all. Most of the time when you tell people to give, I said, well, we're gonna give the first $1,000, so we want 10 people to give $100. What we do is we say, I ain't got $100. So, okay, I'm out. I ain't got it. So what we do is we don't say give, we say raise. And then what happens as black people, this is what we say. I ain't got time to be going around asking nobody, listen, I'm gonna give it. That's the psychology of raising money in our community. So we need 10 people to raise $100. So we have the first out, committed to save Jefferson County. We asking the FOP to raise $1,000. We asking the Employee Association to raise $1,000. And we asking the Birmingham Watersworks Employee Association. Not, I said Employee Association, I meant the retired employees. Okay. We might have to have what's that thing, Dexter, you have, that you be going to come dancing, a two-step contest or something, we had to raise, but we don't raise. And like I just told D'Angelo before he had to leave, and the way we do this is not go before the group and say, all right, this is democratic, you want to vote. If the leader that we're talking to is with it, then find 10 other people or 20 other people who do it. And what we want you to do is write their names down and get their information, their email and their phone number, so we can communicate with them what's going on. We want to develop, we will develop, we shall develop a web page so that the people can not only give through the web page, but they can know what's happening constantly without having to wait once a month or every other month to come to a meeting to find out. So that's what we want to do, and that's the way we want to do it. And it can be done as long as you don't doubt. You can have anything you want in life if you don't doubt.
That's right. Amen.
That's the way God is. That's the way the universe is. Whatever you put into the universe, it comes back to you as long as you don't kill it with a doubt. It's like having children. I put it in that analogy. We know how to have children. We some of the best at that. But what if you were doing what you were doing to have children, but most of us don't do it for that purpose? And then right after you get up and they got this thing now, they call it day after pill. Plan B, that's what you're doing with your ideas and with your programs. You're putting an idea out there and then you're taking a day out to pill the next day when you die.
That's the doubt. That's right. That's right.
God is such, excuse me, any preachers in the house of me being messy now. My children said, Dad, you so messy. You're a preacher. God is such that whatever he created the universe, but whatever we put in it, we can exercise power that he gave us to have what we want to have in our life.
Those things in the street now, so they.
But the devil has taught us to fear and to doubt.
That's your God. That's
so we talk about we need $20.
Come on,
and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got a witness. I'm going to pass the plate now. We got 10 or 15 people who brave the storm to come out here, and we said, okay, let's pass the hat and I'll get $20. Doubt gonna jump up in somebody's head. And that's the training we got to take. So I'm gonna end on this note. What we're talking about is we asking those organizations, let me call a roll. These are the organizations I wrote down. I hadn't talked to everybody yet. The Community Save Jefferson County, president, $1,000. The FOP, the Angelo, $1,000. The Retiree Association, asking raise $1,000. I'm putting you on the spot, Dave, I'm sorry. I hadn't talked to you this year, so I heard you've been doing a lot of traveling and stuff. But he was nodding his head when I was talking about it. So the Black Contractors Association, I told we got the Prime Minister, the CEO, and the Queen of the Black Contractors Association on there. And Ms. Pat already told me that when she gets some business, she'll do it herself. I'm not saying it so we don't raise it our way, because I would wear Ms. Pat out. She paid for everything. And we can't grow like that.
That's right.
But the Black Contractors Association, $1,000. The Progressives, I want them to give $1,000. How do we tell people who to vote for, and then we'll never get involved in anything that affect our people?
Yes, yes.
That's why we doing it like this. The coalition, and even though in the leadership of the Committee to Save Jefferson County, and Congressman Hilliard, but he one of the co-founders of the coalition, so I'm leaving his money over there with them instead of putting it over here with us, where he one of the leaders in it. And so the coalition, and I asked Jackie to come and talk to her, so I know she was in the rain, but she said she's gonna try. She complained about the 9 o'clock meeting, so you know I put that on you. Well, Earl said, if we do it while the football game going on, won't nobody come. So that's why we don't have all our meetings at 9 o'clock on Saturday. That's Alabama football. We in Alabama. Okay. Okay, Alabama, okay. Book it up. But look like them boys booking up everybody they run.
It works, look how many here.
Yeah, you're right. I know you're always right. New South. I talked to Everett. I got to get with CC. We want them to raise $1,000. The CCC, I talked to Rev Harris. He probably couldn't make it today, but I'm going to get him and talk with him. SCLC, I got to talk to Maria. We want to reach out for the NAACP. Black businesses. They might not have an organization. Black politicians. So you go to the city council. City council got $100,000 in discretionary funds. They ain't asking them for all of it, just $1,000 a piece, maybe, or whatever you wish to give. It's bad. So we're going to go to the city council and ask them. Let me see who else on this list. Black Lives Matter. Eric Hall, got to get in touch with him. I talked to Richard Franklin, the American Federation of Teachers. Oh, the first $1,000 really was pledged by Black Women's Roundtable and Commissioner Tyson. So they already, their money is good. They said they want to see us.
That's all right.
Once we file, they said they want to, we had to file then, their money is good. We can cash their check.
Okay.
The Birmingham Watersworks Employee Association, I talked to Kai yesterday. We got a lot of discrimination going on over there. I didn't want to take up your time talking about that, but the new CEO, I wanted Sheila to talk about this. The new CEO is a white guy. He come in and he had a whole staff hired before he even got there. The day after they hired him, he hired white people, putting them over black folks. We got a brother that they fired because he was the manager of the plant where some copper, the warehouse where some copper got stole. They fired him. I don't know if that's legal, attorney. They fired him and replaced him with a white boy, even though he had an assistant manager that was black.
Okay, see?
There's talk going on about them getting rid of the employee association. These folks, they think they can do whatever they want to do. I was talking.
They get away with it.
Yeah, I was talking to Bob Dickinson. Bob Dickinson said, what y'all are doing is great because the people need to, if they don't understand this, we in line to have everything taken.
Okay.
The airport will be
Out
next.
of town.
Congressman been telling us about this for years. And now we had to experience it, folks. He tried to warn us for years that they have a plan to take everything. Let me see. Ministers, like I said, the CCC is the minister. They got another conference. E.O. Jackson got a conference. Black professor, Dr. Hunter is here to represent the black professor. George Munkus, I called him, he's on the Zoom with us, neighborhood associations. I'm gonna go to the neighborhood association, they get the complaint of the mayors, they got all this money that they can't spend on hot dogs and tents for neighborhood day. We give them something that they can spend their money on and it'll be a benefit to them.
That's right.
The Urban League, the AKA, the Masons, the Links, the Eastern Stars. So that's, and the 6th Avenue Baptist Church, what is, they already committed to be with us, the curriculum committee. So these are all the people, if everybody raised $1,000, we can have the money to get started. And that's all we want to say. I told you how to do it, we can get into that more, but at this time, I guess we'll turn it over to the attorneys. So if you got any questions, but like I said, remember the rule. We only had one rule in the past, that was the bean counter rule. Well, we got a new rule now. No diversions. So I don't want to talk about what somebody ain't doing. I don't want to hear no shiggity about, well, how we going to convince people. Anybody who don't want to do this, get the hell on. Okay.
Who do we pay the money to? Who do we make the check payable to?
Right now, we got an account, and Richard can talk about that, so that's his entree to go in. But it's a business account, it's his account legally. And we're gonna, he went and set up another account and he put the first money.
Trust account.
Yeah, he put the first money in it, so we could go through him. We're gonna do a QR code and a website, so that when everybody see what the great job is, Escott is doing, and all these thousands of people tune in to it on Westcott, they'll be able to go and click on the QR code that we put up there with it, and they can give whatever they want to give, $5, $10, $20, but that's the way grassroots raising money. They ain't going to Mr. Child, and that means that village, asking him to pay for our struggle. So that's who get the money. So if somebody had a check today, would you tell them, attorney, as you?
Well, yeah, good morning, everybody, and I agree with Mr. Muhammad. He did a good job of going through the history. My name is Richard Rice. I'm a public interest attorney, and I've agreed to serve as local counsel, co-counsel with Mr. Calvin Grigsby. And I've set up a trust account with 6th Avenue Baptist Church Credit Union. It's just a new account we just set up specifically for this purpose of raising funds to go towards the legal fees, but also to pay for the website and what other expenses go along with educating the public about the necessity of doing this type of public interest work. So if you all have any questions about that, let me know, but we should have a link to make it easy, but if you want to make a checkout, then you can just make the checkout too.
Well, all right, come on, Commissioner.
You can just make the checkout directly
I got you.
to me, and you can
Okay.
put it in the memo exactly what it's for specifically. And like I said, we'll have a full accounting of all the money raised, and
Right.
everything will go directly into that one account at the credit union, and it'll be completely transparent.
And I just want to make this note or say this about that, and I guess I'm being 73-year-old black man angry. When I was at UAB, they said it was a young black guy and a old, both of them was angry. I was angry. We talking about what happened to us in the point. But as an angry 73-year-old black man, I want to say this about what he was saying. I don't want no diversionary stuff, so I don't want nobody to give anything if you're going to be worried about $5 or $6 that you gave and where it went. That's a diversion. Keep your money if you worried over that. How much do we say that pipe was worth? Was so many billion? $8 billion worth of pipe in the ground that belonged to us. Not talking about lakes and machinery, and if we're gonna be worried about the little $5 or $10 that we give, that's a diversion, and we ain't interested in that. And ain't gonna entertain. We are transparent, but ain't nobody gonna rob you out of it. You can't even buy a car for $10,000 that's worth anything. And we asking everybody to chip in what we'll finally go to the club or go to the restaurant and spend $100. Go out to eat. Me and my wife, you go out to eat, and you go to some places, I know it's gonna cost us $100. I try to go to a place where I can get 2 meals out of it. Give me a to-go plate, cause I gotta eat this for 2 days at this point. Yes, sir.
Thank everyone for what you're doing. I'd like to ask that we put together some 5 or 10 point items in plain talk where we can sell what are the benefits of my investment in this lawsuit, the long-term, short-term and long-term benefits as a common person. What is it? What am I getting? I don't want to talk how we got there. If we're going to sell this to our people and organizations, we got to be able to show them definitively, this is what your investment will bring, this is what we're going after. And that's all I have to say.
Right, okay, and the lawyers will address that, that's why we got them, other than the fact that it's ours. I want to add this to it, it ain't a law thing. It's ours, and I was brought up on Sherman Heights where my mama and my daddy and my uncle and them taught me, you don't let folks take shit that belong to you.
Okay.
You fight for what's yours. That's the number one thing. I took a plenty of whoopings. I went to school. You get my book and read it. I was bullied by the 12th Street gang. And they always seemed to catch me by myself and ask me to loan them my lunch money. And I quickly gave it to them. And I'm just going to say this and then I know I'm offline with it. One day they caught me by myself and another one, other than my bully, was asked me, hey, Billy, lend me $2. I give him my lunch money and when I come over to give him my lunch money, my bully said, no, go on to school, man, go on to school. And I walked away, I said, man, he really care about me. I heard him tell the other guy, that's my hoe. Leave my hoe alone. That's part of why the way I am. That's part of why I'm a little crazy. But the lawyers will talk about, that's a good point, and I hope that I didn't violate my rules by the Walter Code. For coming up with a diversion by telling me stuff. Put me in check. But the lawyers will address that, so we ready for,
Well, Mr. Grizzly, you stepped away.
okay, well,
Y'all ready?
I can keep telling the story.
Commissioner Tyson.
Oh, Commissioner Tyson, you wanna talk about the conditions and what's happening over there now?
Oh, there you go.
Let me say this, I'm coming up, y'all.
Okay.
The fight is not over. I feel like that we have gotten too comfortable. We feel like, well, we got 2 people on that board that fight. But that ain't worth nothing if we don't have nobody to help us fight. Now, it's just like me and Jobs against 1 million people. 2 people fighting 2 million. That's what it's like. There's no way for me and Jobs to win or nothing without the people. I didn't ask to be on the board. I was forced, really, by the council to be on the board, and I had said I wasn't going to be on the board. Then I ended up talking to William Muhammad and some more people that convinced me that I should take this position. I've asked them every meeting to take the stifling from the board. And everybody, well, why do you do that? It's not that. You got millionaires on there. Why would a millionaire want to sit on a water board?
Right.
I'm talking about Hudson is a millionaire. Don't Bitmo need that problem. He don't know how to carry emotion or nothing else. But why you want to sit on this board? Would draw you to this water board. Everybody on there really is well off except me and Morris. Me and Morris are the only one working. Because he worked for Lee Water System. And I asked him, I said, well, do you run Lee Water System like this? No, But then you voting on everything for them to run our water system in the ground.
Yeah.
If we're going to save our water, y'all gotta drink this water. I don't think we realize how serious this is. We got to drink this water.
That's right.
That's just something that you can't replace water. It's not something you can get in a lab and mix up, you know, get a little mixture and mix up and make some water. It's not like that. You can't subsidize water with a food bank. It's not like that. You either hooked up to the water, gonna get water, or you ain't gonna get no water. We got people right now. We have a lady that they're garnishing her check for $30,000. Y'all know that woman ain't spent no $30,000. But they messed up her bills, and she had been complaining about her bills for a couple of years, and so she ended up moving out of that apartment. We helped her find another apartment. She moved into another apartment, but that $30,000 bill followed her. Even though the water's in her husband's name, where they staying at now, they still want that $30,000. And they know that woman ain't spent no $30,000. Two people in an apartment, but they're literally going to garnish her check. I don't even see how that is possible. They have fired every black contractor. We got maybe two, maybe a few of them left that's hid in there. They I think it's Terminus. Is that Terminus? That's a financial group that actually has been keeping the rating up, Richard. If it wasn't for them, our rating would be down and we wouldn't be able to do nothing. They have given us sound advice. And I'll make sure I ask William the name of the financial group. I think it's Terminus. My mind, I've been on the phone with 60 Minutes. So, trying to hire a group, which I don't want to call their names, I don't know whether I will be, messing up or nothing, that advised the county into bankruptcy. They were part of our bankruptcy, so you know who I'm talking about, the financial people there. So why would you get rid of one that has helped you, because it's black owned, to pick up someone, and the owner of it is what, 98? He's 98 years old, and they have advised several companies into bankruptcy, and the county was one of them. They said, we didn't get it, that wasn't true, we didn't get that advice. Y'all was the financial consultant that was hired by the county at that time. Y'all was the only one, so somebody had to give them that advice. They are promoting personnel. They was over there stealing copper pipes or something. They forced the supervisor into retirement, told him, you're either going to retire, we're going to fire you, because of them stealing. But like he said, I was a regular lay person. When y'all promoted me into this position, you knew they were stealing then. So why would you fire me for 2 years when they've been stealing 15? They put somebody white in that position. So they have dwindled down to where it is a black and white issue over there. They are not promoting people from that has experience, and I'm getting this from the people that work there, and they have an association they don't have the union, they have an employee association. People are being promoted over them without the time. They don't have the time that they have. The ones they promote have to come back and still ask them. Just say, I'm gonna put this like some chemicals you gotta put in there for the water and stuff. They call them back. Man, did I do this right? Did I put this and that? You still gotta go back to the people who they promoted you over.
That's right.
You know what to do.
I wouldn't tell them they would have it back.
Man, I drank the water and then it killed her. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
You know what I mean? And I said, do you know? So it's,
No.
y'all, I'm telling you, I can promote it, but I can't even join the lawsuit. They told me, my attorney told me I couldn't even join. But that ain't gonna stop me from giving my $1,000. And I work just like y'all do. I don't have no, I work 2 jobs. Always have, I ain't no, my husband, we work for a living.
Okay.
Ain't no money tree, I don't have no family money tied up where I can go to the 401k and get all that. I'm just a regular worker like everybody else. We are gonna have to invest in this. We have been talking to some rich people trying to see if they can get us some money, a pot of money, to get these attorneys to work out of it. We will have oversight over the money. You know, we give $2, we want oversight over $2. But we will have oversight over the money, and I trust Rich. If you get $50 of my money, I trust you, because I don't give money, and especially don't give down to a man. Definitely ain't gonna get a dime. But I trust him, but we're gonna have to do something, and we cannot keep waiting. They're saying we are broke, but it's not so much of us being broke. I think it's the access we do have to the money, because we just got a loan, that lead pipe loan, and it's supposed to cover Fairfield, Inslee, Dolomite, Central Parks, parts of West End. The person who I would have trusted to make sure that they do those pipes, they put them on administrative leave, getting paid, paying him, and then got another person that's in that job that's white, and I don't think that don't have a. So we're checking to make sure once the work starts from the customer part, that they make sure they have people that go out there and make sure they fixing the pipes where they supposed to be fixing them. You know, and that's all really that I can do, but the lawyers can do more. They will not give us paperwork. They told us we have to come to Porter's office that's up there at the water board and look at it at his desk. And these books is this thick. And try to remember all, you know, it's no way. And they, you know, they got contracts with the accounting people that the board don't have a contract. The attorney Porter got the contract. So we see no pricing or nothing. It goes to him. And if we want to see it, we have to go into his office and look at it. We get no background or nothing on the accounting part. They stop, the attorneys are charging 52% more than the old board. And I want you to understand this, the old board wasn't doing right neither. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie.
Okay.
They weren't doing right, but this one sure ain't doing right. They doubling down. They are charging 52, the attorneys are charging 52% more. Every bid that they said was a single bid, most single bids are from people with, they can't handle the $30 million bids. So they mostly black companies. When you get a low bid, it be black companies, and they get either minority. They are bid low, and they'll get the contract. They pulled every last one of them and rebid them out. How about we don't know how much they paying? Cause they got them going through Portland.
Commissioner, what was the purpose in them pulling those low bid contracts? Was it after an audit? Was it those
The audit-
added were doing the work? What was their reasoning behind it?
The audit didn't even show that. The audit didn't show that. The audit showed something totally different, had nothing to do with the bid process. And that's what they do. They said what it was DEI. You can go back and listen to the meeting. Hudson said that's DEI, and me and Jobs at the same time said, no, that's not. And
Alabama state law, bid law, they call
and that's what they're doing. So all the contracts that we did have, we ain't got no more. Cause they pull it those.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Gary put in a bid with the Waterworks, and it was a competitive bid. And we was on the agenda on November the 17th. And it was not voted upon, we were told, in writing, by email, that the reason for not being voted upon was because the CEO had to sign off, it had to go through the CEO, and the CEO had to present it.
Not at that time, not in November they did not, because if you remember, William, the board, when y'all did that, the board was letting the chair sign off on everything. That's how Parnell got his contract.
Yes.
That's how those 5 people up there got a chance to be in the pension fund, the ones that had never been in there, because the chairperson signed off on it. So long as she signed off, which she did on y'all contract. So now, in the new resolution that was the law from the State House, said that the CEO got to sign out. That's a new one, but that wasn't in place in November.
Engineering and construction, they
Yeah.
said.
However,
He got to recommend it to.
But that was back then, and this shouldn't even count toward her contract.
Right, your contract was before that, but they said that's in the law.
however, I have sent email to the young lady that did that formed the process of going through our paperwork. And she in return told me that I had to send the information to Roy Sloan to get the status of the bid. And I did that. And Roy Sloan sent me back to her. But I have also sent another email to both of them, asking them again for the status. Now, my next move is gonna send it to the director. And I'm gonna send the email to him on Monday.
And you need to send it to all the chairs, all of the boards.
Okay. All right, I'll do that, but the thing about it is, after then, I'm gonna be visiting my attorney.
Y'all, when I tell you how hard it is
I
just
believe it.
sitting up there, sometimes I just bust out laughing, because if I don't, I'll be going to cry.
Right.
And I don't,
It's just terrible.
it's nothing, this stuff cannot reach a bill against, law. It's gotta be against the law.
I want to say this to Commissioner Tyson, just looking at Dr. Hunter. Here's a book came out in the 70s called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. That's all y'all job is to do. I mean, job is, y'all play good cop, bad cop, good up there, because job is kind of used the mental thing. And then, well, why are we doing? And then you get mad with them. But your main purpose is that to let us know what they're doing. The spook who sat by the door. Look at what they're doing, because if you wasn't up there, we might have somebody up there who, I seen the last board and the one before then, where they board buddied with the enemy. I'm gonna need y'all help on this now. Got rid of Bob Dickinson's contract the first time. Well, we was, I'm gonna need y'all help. I heard the guy say, I'm gonna need y'all help on this, and the 4 whites voted with him because of this. So y'all up there for, I just want to encourage you. You the spook who sat by the door. Be yourself, raise hell and all that, but know that your main purpose is to get information you can bring back to us. Yes, sir.
Ms. Flowers.
Oh,
I have a question, Commissioner. Do you all have days where the public can sit in on your
No.
meeting?
Yeah, they can come in now.
can't say nothing.
We can't ask questions like we would do the
No.
city council?
But I feel like when no one has tried to, no one has came up there and tried, they told me I couldn't speak, but you seen I wouldn't leave.
Right, I mean,
But because ain't nobody trying to come up there and
Right.
speak.
Okay.
We have
I
to go.
stood out there waiting for an hour and 15 minutes, raising hell, and they finally let me speak. So they'll let you speak, if you come up there and say something, then you sit down there and don't say nothing, no.
When
And then I got up speaking, when they told me, to shut up, I didn't. But they escorted me out, but if he had to put his hand on me, and I told him, we're gonna tear this whole room.
We need to be there.
they drugged me out. I mean,
And they drug him out,
All
and that guy
the
got a
wraparound
promotion that
around.
drug you out. He got
he
him
got a
extra
promotion,
money.
he get a promotion.
I don't know.
He the
what
only
got a
black
promotion.
that's in the executive team now, the one that manhandled me, 73-year-old man.
I got 2 women and they white, but the rest is white men.
White man.
When do y'all have meetings?
They called a meeting for I think it's Monday. We got a call meeting Monday. They just called me out the blue.
Yeah.
No.
No, just emailed us Friday and called a meeting at 4 o'clock. I think it's Monday. And we supposed to meet, I think twice. Is it twice?
Twice a month, generally.
And we've been
2 meetings
meeting
a month.
look like every week. And they called me to pass one of their friends' contract. Now we got a meeting, we got a meeting Monday.
Yeah, we used to have, we had set days for meetings, like,
Not
if it was
these folks.
on Wednesday, it would be the second Wednesday in the month and the fourth Wednesday in the month. You can have a call meeting, but back when I was up there, you had to have 2 people to call it out of 5 initially, and then when the board expanded, still any 2 people could get together. Like Jarvis and Sheila could get together and say, we want to meet. They don't have to come and you won't have a quorum, but you could call a meeting, but they done changed all of that, I think.
Yeah, we have a meeting this Friday on the 16th. And then we have another meeting on the regular board meeting on Monday.
What time?
At 4 o'clock on Friday, it will be a call meeting at 3.
Yeah, that's a committee meeting.
You send it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a committee
And
meeting.
the,
What one we should go to? Committee or the general meeting?
because they doing both back to back.
So show up at both.
Show up at both, and the one on Monday is at 6:30.
PM?
Yeah.
You send the details.
Yeah.
And that, wait a minute,
Uh-oh.
that's Martin Luther King Day.
The 19th, Monday?
Yeah, and I told them that was Martin Luther King
Yeah,
Day.
yeah.
They ignore, but they don't want us to show up where they can put it. They always bring up something from the floor. And we don't know what it is until we get there. I done got to the, I don't speak to them, I'm doing y'all the best I can. I cannot speak, I can't shake hands. I can't do that. Maybe someone else can move around like that.
Okay.
Y'all can find somebody better, but I just can't do it.
Okay.
William Presser is,
Right.
William Presser.
The spook who sat by the door.
Yeah.
The angry spook. You got 2 spooks. One of them, he wrestles with them mentally. You know, he show them to be what they are, and the other one be mad with them all the time. So, but what Clifford had his hand up first, then Brother Rock.
I just want to bring to everyone's attention that Kay Adams, her last address is gonna be on the 13th. January, so that's something we wanna kind of pay close attention to as well.
Okay, Brother Walker.
Request permission to be properly relieved, I have another meeting. We did start 20 minutes late, so it kind of took it
Okay, yes, sir.
in the future, disadvantage to me. But I want to say this before I leave. I've heard so much report on these oppressive tactics that we've been suffering until I'm almost under a condition of anxiety. I'm going to ask that we put together something in writing with some empowerment behind it, some self-determination behind it, why we should make this lawsuit and these actions happen. That's something like that. So we can get some strength out of it. But I'm tired of hearing all of the oppressive talk.
I think we need to send them a letter from this board.
Okay.
I'm talking about to the common people.
Right, I'm saying that's what the
I'm not
lawyer's
worried
gonna
about
talk
them.
about next.
I'm talking about to our people, what we can say to them to excite them in a powerful way. That to get the people excited about this.
Can y'all mute your line for 1 second so I can say something? Mute it, because I don't want them to hear this.
Hold a second, let me know another one.
We do,
Right.
Calvin, when we get a chance to.
Because they don't need to hear this, Richard.
I'm finna pause my video now.
We might have to do some overtime.
Attorney Grigsby, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, go ahead and give us,
They
yeah.
can see it.
Did
You
you,
don't have to.
I was focusing on something else. I had just, pulled up the audit report because, William was talking earlier about the assets of the Waterworks. The Waterworks has $1.7 billion in assets. It has over 700 million in water mains. It has something like 600 million in structures. And it spends on contracts over $250 million a year. It has just entered into 3-year agreements with some attorneys that are friends of people on the board. These guys have contracts where they get over $3 million a year just for legal fees. The takeover of the Waterworks can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, they consider it a fait accompli right now. All they're doing now is what they call a mop-up operation. And that's because they don't really feel there's any resistance from the black community. The black community is under siege, and it has been under siege since I got involved way back with the Jefferson County Sewer, where the general and two members of the Jefferson County Commission, the black members of the commission, asked me to come in and help them with this restructuring of the sewer system. So I came in, ended up going back to New York. We thought we had to cut a deal with all the big bond firms to reduce the debt, restructure the debt, and keep rates from going up. Well, the local Alabama folks, including people like Jimmy Stevens, worked to undermine that deal. And instead of working on a consensual reduction of the debt, they ended up filing a bankruptcy, which allowed them to come up with rate increases where your rates for sewer go up 5% every year. But initially they went up 12% a year for 3 years. So then you talk about the devil shaking hands with the other devil. The sewer system then cuts a deal with the Waterworks because, well, I'll just have to say we did get that bankruptcy stopped at the district court level. I had to argue the case. There were like 40 lawyers on the other side, and the federal judge in the district court stayed the bankruptcy because of the impact on the community from the rate increases was not feasible. That was the basis of our argument, that the rates were going up so fast that the wealth of the community could not handle the rate increases. When I got back on the appeal and William went back with me, I think was Sheila was there? Was she? I don't know, but William, you remember this. You were back in Atlanta, right?
I was there.
How many lawyers were on the other side of the room?
I was there.
I got there late. I had to confess. It was over. It was over when I got there. I got there late. I went to the wrong
Might
court.
be about
Okay,
60 lawyers.
I'm sitting on one side of the room representing the ratepayers from the city of Birmingham, not the city, but the ratepayers, because we could not get the city to step up. And on the other side, they had gotten amicus briefs from 3 different law firms, plus they had the law firm for Jefferson County. There was 40 lawyers in black suits. And the judges just looked at me like, why are you here? And they ruled against us. And they imposed the bankruptcy. Now, let me tie this together. Once the bankruptcy was imposed, the reason the bankruptcy was so, I don't like to use the word, so adverse to the citizens of Birmingham is that the Jefferson County sewer, the people in the northern parts of Jefferson County on septic tanks. The state legislature passed a law that said if you're on a septic tank, you don't have to pay a sewer bill, even though all of the rainwater and all of the leakage from all of the septic tanks goes into the sewer that have to be paid by the citizens of Birmingham, the people who are mostly white, who don't live in the city, are not paying a sewer bill. So when they came up with this bankruptcy result, it detrimentally and disproportionately affected the black community in Birmingham. People didn't get that. They don't realize that the rate increases. The sewer serves people on septic tanks because they have rainwater runoffs and everything on their streets, just like everybody in the city. They all come down into the sewer system, but they don't pay the bill. The infiltration and inflow from the sewer system is not on the bill. So all of the predominantly white people who live outside the city and on septic tanks, they're getting a free ride on the Jefferson County sewer bill. Now, then the deal was cut up in the legislature and every place. I filed a lawsuit against this too, where they got the city, the Birmingham Waterworks, to agree to put the sewer bill on the Waterworks bill. Right. Now, nobody knows, well, why they do that? What's going on? Well, number one, the sewer bill is disproportionately affecting the African American community because the people on septic tanks who also have a bunch of sewage going through infiltration from roads, rainwater, and everything else don't pay a bill. The court in Atlanta, the appeals court ruled, they said, okay, Grigsby, we're not going to rule totally against you, but we're going to say that you have to come back to us with a real case of somebody whose water was cut off. And if you can come back with a case with somebody's water cut off, then you can go back into court. All right. So what the Jefferson County bond indenture said, or sewer cutoff, the Jefferson County bond indenture said, if you don't pay your sewer bill, your sewer will be cut off. Okay, so what we were waiting for is the Jefferson County sewer system to cut off somebody's bill So we get 3 or 4 people, we go back to the 11th Circuit and say, okay, we actually have a real case in interest now because these people have been cut off based on this, what we call discriminatory rate increase that impacted only a certain group and gave other group a free ride. So how do they get around that? They say, oh, well, we'll put the sewer bill on the Waterworks bill, and the Waterworks will pay the entire sewer bill, and now it's up to the Waterworks to cut off the water and not the sewer. And so the Waterworks now is the straw man for all the rate increases that preclude us from going back to court and saying the rate increases have disproportionately affected the African American community. Okay, then we get into the Waterworks where they come back with the legislation that says they're going to let Birmingham have 5 members of the Waterworks. And we fought that, and William actually and Monkus and the people on the board hired our firm to help them through that. And then once they put the new people on the board, we got fired. Just like they're doing now. Okay, so at that point, I went into my own pocket and ended up taking the case to the Supreme Court. Of course, the Supreme Court wouldn't give us any relief because they only look at 2% of the. And I ran out of money. And so now here we are again, where the shop.
Let me ask a question.
And the what I want to emphasize is if the Waterworks is not only.
Mr. Grigsby, hold on one second. We got a question.
I want to ask a question. While you were doing this, where were the lawyers for the state of Birmingham?
They
Tell us.
I don't want to go there. I mean, I think one of the things that I think Mr. Muhammad is telling us is let's not get into this old crab barrel thing about which black people didn't do what and who's not doing what. Let's talk about how we're going to fix this problem. And I don't want to go there. I want to go to, we've got a solution, we've got a remedy, we can, the thing that Sheila's talking about where they're firing people and they cut all the contracts from all the African-American contractors. That's just a symptom of the disease. The disease is they've taken over illegally based on the U.S. Constitution and the state constitution an entity that was formed by electors, not formed by the city, and that we have a remedy in court to unwind it. Not only do we have a remedy in court to unwind it, but we have to organize the electorate in Birmingham who has a right to vote to take the whole system back.
Oh, I got a question.
And so the black community has got to operate on 2 fronts. We've got to immediately. Go ahead.
Kevin, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I just wanted to, I heard what you said. The entity was formed by the electors, not the city.
Correct.
So who were the electors that formed the entity?
Yeah.
There were 3 white electors. And so that's why this is not necessarily a white and black issue. This is a city of Birmingham electors issue on the Waterworks to purchase the Birmingham Waterworks from a private water company. The Waterworks was already operating in Birmingham. It was just owned by a private
American
family.
Water. Yeah.
And that Waterworks was in a new entity was created and filed down at the probate department called the Birmingham Waterworks. And that entity was formed by 3 private individuals, not by the city.
Wow.
The three private individuals have successors in interest. That's called y'all. Everybody who is a voter is a successor in interest through the three people who form the waterworks.
So
not the city council, not the mayor,
how did
none
the
of the
city do
politics are successors in interest to the people who form the waterworks. That's owned by the people.
How did the city?
And that,
How did the city ever get control of it? It was started by three.
Called Solar the Waterworks. They didn't change the charter. We went back and pulled all the charter amendments. I have all the charter amendments on my laptop. I can put them on the screen.
So
the city, the waterworks that was originally formed is the same waterworks that we have now. It's been sold supposedly, but somehow they didn't change the charter. You can't sell an entity without changing the charter. They just changed the board. And when the state came in and changed the board, the reason that was illegal is that a state has no authority under the contracts clause of the United States Constitution to go and interfere with a contract established by three private individuals. Otherwise, they could go to the General Motors and say, okay, we're changing the board. We're taking over General Motors. The thing that you got to understand is what happened, what Governor Ivey did and all the people in the state legislature, the same thing Fidel Castro did in Cuba. They went and took over privately organized companies and said, now we're running it. And these are so-called Republicans who believe in the rule of law. And they're acting just like Maduro in Venezuela and Castro in Cuba. They're using the same tactics and the same techniques, using the government to take over companies started by individuals. And that's illegal in the United States of America.
We got you.
And people don't understand, the only way to unwind the rate increases from the Jefferson County sewer that are going up every year, and you might as well just say, if you're no longer getting any of the $250 million in contracts that are being let by the waterworks, the Jefferson County sewer is letting something like $800,000 worth of contracts every year. The rates are going up from the Jefferson County sewer, and those rates are being paid by black folks to subsidize white people up in outside Birmingham. And all you're doing is giving all the jobs to people over in Blount County and Shelby County. You might as well just say, as a black community, we're taking an oath of poverty. And somebody's saying, I don't want to give $100. I'd rather have an oath of poverty where my bill gonna keep going up. Every year I gotta pay another $1,000 in a water bill, and I can't give $100 to try to stop it. I don't see the relationship between what people are doing. Let me tell you something. A municipal utility like a waterworks is paid for by revenues. That's why they call them revenue bonds. The people who paid for the system are the people who paid the bills. The city of Birmingham transitioned from white to majority black. So the majority black people paid all the bills. They own the system. People in Blount County ain't paid no bills. Right. People in Shelby County ain't paid no bills. What are they doing sitting up on the board? Right. They have not contributed a dime. Governor Ivey ain't paid a dime. What's she doing telling people, I got an appointment on the board? The lieutenant governor ain't paid a dime. What's he doing saying, I got an appointment on the board? Is this any different? from like a totalitarian regime, you know, Mao Zedong in China. What's the difference? The people in Birmingham bought this system through their revenue bond, through their monthly payments on their bill. They bought it. They own it. It's their birthright. And you ready to stand up and say that? Everybody moot. Oh God, nobody wants to get up and accuse them of theft. What else is it? If you haven't paid for something and you took it, what is that called? Larceny.
Right.
You don't have to be a lawyer to know that.
White supremacy.
And you know, you look at what's going on, and it's like I'm just like, okay, yeah, you out of here, California. I grew up in Arkansas. I mean, I'm telling you, the only place, like we were talking earlier, that has bigger mosquitoes than where I grew up is Lowndes County, Alabama. That's where the mosquitoes would come. You had to bring out your 12 gauge to knock them down. But it's just a matter of understanding that they're not even considering that they have opposition anymore. It's sort of like the brazen firing of all of the black officers who have the experience. These black officers who got fired are the reason Birmingham Watersworks has a AA rating. A AA rating is the highest rating. There's a AAA rating for general obligation bonds, but the highest rating you can have in the United States of America for credit for revenue bonds is generally AA. That's the best. I mean, that's the state of the art. So these black gentlemen who they just fired for supposedly incompetence were able to manage an entity for AA rating, then that disproves that they were incompetent. Because the rating agencies watch everything you do. They get a report every month. They follow every dime. They got 14,000 people who have accounting degrees and all kinds of business degrees who are looking at your credit rating. And if these gentlemen could maintain and sustain a AA credit rating, they should be given a plaque rather than being fired. And for them to sit there and say, we need to take over an organization with a AA credit rating is preposterous. You can't get any better than that.
They hadn't fired him yet, Griggs, but they laid him off with administrative leave. That's because they don't want to give them that lump sum of money. It's preposterous. We got to talk about the cure, not the symptoms. Getting fired, taking jobs, giving contracts to their buddies. That's all a symptom. Nothing gonna help us talking about how bad it is and all the symptoms. The only thing that's gonna help us is that if Mr. Rice and I can file a complaint, and then we can start working with some of the people nationwide, you know, who can help us bring this to the attention of the whole world as to what an atrocity it is. We gotta have to figure out what we're gonna do next. They are just mopping up right now. Of course, the only reason they took it is because they want to take $1.6 billion in assets they want to take. If you take over the board of a private purpose, of a public, what this is called is a public purpose corporation. You take over the board, you take over the assets. So you just had Governor Ivey and a bunch of henchmen from Shelby and Blount County and your own county, Jefferson County. Jefferson County should be lockstep with us to take back the board.
Right.
So why are Jimmy Stevens and the other two white commissioners lockstep with them? You don't have to say. You don't have to say why. Because why are they lockstep?
White supremacy.
Who cares? Who cares where they're lockstep? What we got to do is fix it.
Right. Yeah.
And we got to do two things to fix it.
Okay.
We've got to unwind because it's unconstitutional to take over of a public benefit corporation by government. And the second thing we got to do is organize and put together the appropriate referendum to take the system back and put it back into the hands of the citizens who started it. And we're the only city, like you said, William, when you started, there's a statute in Alabama that allows citizens to come together, create a public utility to purchase assets for water and sewer.
Right.
That's a statute. Birmingham is the only city where that statute has been taken over and unwound by the government. The only city. Montgomery has it. Every other city has the same structure of Birmingham Waterworks. And because it's not majority black, they have been allowed to continue. We're the only city that hasn't been allowed to continue under the same statute. They operate under the same statute we operate under. There's 40 other cities that have the same kind of waterworks under the same statute, which is considered, absolutely remote from any kind of government takeover. We're the only one legislation. That means we have been denied equal protection. Now, unless if you start talking about, okay, here's the city council, here's the mayor, those are politicians. Politicians don't have any rights under the Constitution. Constitution protects the rights of individuals, successors to the original founders.
Right.
So they have a weaker case than the citizens will have. If we can file a case, our case is much stronger because it's not ambiguous. Right now, the governor could pass a law and abolish Birmingham. That wouldn't get rid of the Birmingham Waterworks that was founded by individuals. The rights are with the individual electors, not with the council, not with the mayor. They're the wrong spokespeople.
So, Calvin, are you suggesting that we file our own lawsuit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready. So we got about 15 more minutes to start collecting some money. So I'm gonna talk to Richard about us making this a part of.
But I heard that I guess jumped in, but I heard the conversation this morning, and I'm telling you, the focus, as you said when you first started, I don't know exactly how you put it. This is not about trying to say who didn't do what.
Right.
That's how they separate. That's how they make black people fight each other. If you're fighting each other, you don't have the energy to fight the opponent.
But we need to do our own thing. Let the city do its own thing.
Yeah.
We got an opponent that doesn't even take our defenders. They don't even take the legal department from the city of Birmingham seriously. They just they firing people. They act like they won already.
Yeah.
We gotta let them know they ain't won yet.
Why we don't be with them?
So we got about 15 more minutes of this meeting space. I'm gonna kick around.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna kick around the idea that we make the Zooms, Richard, a part of a regular part of getting information out to the people. Like we have electronic town hall meetings, not have to wait once a month, every 2 months. That anybody if we could do this.
Right.
And these guys, they are professionals. They work, so they not retired. So we got to do our part so they can be able to take their time to come on. Because I done learned more from Kevin in the 15 minutes he been talking than I knew in the last 15 years. And that's what we got to get everybody up to speed on that. So where we begin now is, before we let y'all go, ain't no football game to go to. Alabama got stomped. Them Indiana boys seem to be stomping everybody. So we ain't got to rush out to go to the game. So what we said at the beginning, what we were going to do is the grassroots plan. We working you know, all hands on deck. But the grassroots plan, like I told y'all about, is I got this list of over 20-some organizations. We asking each organization to raise $1,000 so that we can start filing a complaint. Just,
And what are you gonna do 90 days from now?
We
Why
gonna-
not ask each group to do $2,500, $1,000 now?
let's get it, yeah, $1,000 now, okay, and
$1,000
we'll
now.
keep it going, cause
Right.
what I'm asking
When they
them,
see the results of
Right.
what we're doing, I think they would agree.
right, what I'm asking
Continue
them,
to raise the money.
this is just the money to,
I
yeah,
understand,
to get us started.
but you got to also
10,000.
understand psychology of it. I gave $1,000 last month, 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm,
But so we saying only part of it now.
right.
Cause once we get in, we need to be able to carry it on.
Right, like I said, I want my grandson just had my youngest great grandbaby, Niles, he's living in Japan. I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He gets just as fat as he wanna be. I said, I wanna turn this case over to him. He was born in 24 in December. I wanna turn it over to him when he finished law school. Okay,
You
Miles,
gonna
you take
turn the
it.
results over to them, not
Yeah.
the case. Case gonna be finished, cause we gonna.
Okay. In case it ain't, I want him to come in and help finish. I don't want nobody to say, oh Lord, well, we tried, y'all. But I think Kevin done inspired me. So what we gotta do, we got 28 organizations that we asking to help raise the money that we need. We need $10,000 today. So anybody got a $10,000 check they like to write for this cause right now? You're gonna be blessed. You got hundreds of thousands.
Just get the 1,000 for today.
Okay, well, okay, all right, okay. Well, now this is what I do professionally. So I can't, and I've been taught in the nation, you don't know who might have just went to their 401k and borrowed something.
Okay.
Like my daughter is doing, to catch up on some bills. I might catch somebody out there who done did that. We don't know who got a settlement. Who died and left somebody something, so that's why we got to ask for the whole figure, 10,000, that person might be sitting up in there. Okay, well, 5,000, okay.
So the groups that you're asking for the funds from, we're asking for, are we going 2,500 from the group that we're asking the fund from?
Yes,
And
be realistic.
the first initial payment is 1,000.
Yeah.
Right, that's what
Okay.
Congressman was saying.
Okay.
And we're asking the raise, I had to keep putting that point in there, the raise, because my experience teaching me, you tell folks to give, and they say, oh, I ain't got that.
Okay,
So that means out, but raise don't exclude you.
Okay, so when we make the payment out, we make it out to Attorney Richard Rice,
Right.
and we make it out for the lawsuit for the
Right.
whatever it is. You
Yeah.
got to tell us
Yeah.
what we have to do.
H2O workers.
Right, he'll give you that information.
Richard will give us that,
Right,
right?
we gonna do a QR code, so you could, do it digitally. If you write the check to him, you tell him what, he'll tell you how to write that and whatever.
Okay, and I think we need to do it as soon as possible.
Right, we
because
definitely.
We may get some people outside of Jefferson County that may want to donate on some of our behalf.
Right.
And we ask them to.
And another thing I have to mention too is like, one thing we discovered in the forums that we were doing is that we connected with, I don't know, what is it, media, what's the name of me, Jarvis Escott, media, what's happening?
What you talking about?
What's the name of your company?
Oh, what's happening in Birmingham?
Oh, the name of your company, because Sheila Smoothies always say something media.
Oh, what, y'all say first impression, what's happening in Birmingham?
Yeah, what's happening in Birmingham. So we getting this information out. We realized that if we had these many people come, it was a pretty good meeting on a rainy day. But thousands of people go back and look at what's happening in Birmingham, so we get into more people that we can build up toward a bigger movement. I'm asking you to raise the money, and like I said, our organization, the Committee to Save Jefferson County, we asking everybody to raise $100. So let's start with the Committee to Save Jefferson County. Yes, ma'am.
Can you give us a deadline?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
For
that. We said 30 days, so today is the 10th. February the 10th, we want to have this first part done. We like to do it this week because time, is of the essence. So I brought my $100, but I'm gonna go to my friends and my family, and I'm gonna be talking to you about it and give each one, get 10 of them to give me my $10 back. But I'm paying for my family that $100. We take the hat off. So we asked him, that's what, and I was telling D'Angelo before he left, I talked to Akai, and I told him, I don't want this to be the way we gotta go before your group and ask them to vote on what they want to do. I want the leadership.
It's my family.
Wait, I gotta make sure they ain't putting no 5s and 10s in there for the fair. You can stand up in there. So, okay, the next 100, anybody else got 100. And then we want 10 names from you of people that we can give information to. We can send out the link to them 10 people. Anybody?
I want to give out a check. I want to send a check.
Okay, you good. Your check good, Miss
And
Pat.
this is from the Black Contractors Association.
So it's 3 of y'all, that's $3 grand?
Well, we need to put together like a link, that way when I send it out, that have, like Richard.
We gonna do that.
And I can, that's it.
We gonna do that. Okay, cash out, that's a good idea. We need a link and cash out.
What's your cash out?
We don't have that
Oh,
yet.
okay.
It's all different parameters, like, technically it'd be better if we were basically having like a third party,
Yeah.
send the cash app to and then send it to the lawyer.
Oh, yeah, cause you have to do,
Yeah,
so that on the cash app.
that's right.
We'll work that out.
Right.
But the lawyer don't want to deal with all this, but I just don't want no intermediary group interfering with them being able to get the money to do what they gotta do. So where we left off at, anybody else got a check can't take the
I'm gonna go grab my check.
Okay, go grab your check, and so we can say, Sarah Beth, for $1,000, go and get her check. Well, thank God, 26, this how we live. Anybody else, right? We know you just hearing this information, but
So the QR code will be up this week, you'll be able to put that out to us this week on the QR code?
I can't say exactly, but, don't hold me to it, but yeah. Well, that's,
This week.
yeah, we'll have that up.
That'll be linked to a
Can we
website.
do like a GoFundMe?
We gotta work on that. We got to work
Can't
on
use
the what's up.
GoFundMe.
Can you GoFundMe?
Can't use it.
Okay, so the money that we're giving today, will that go towards our organization?
Yes, so that's a good point.
Somebody
We need to
keep a
record.
record.
Right, we
Am I
need
correct?
a
Richard, you
record.
get a record?
So
We
right
I
need
will,
somebody
yes.
to keep a record
right
of
now, that's what.
what's been given.
Okay,
So it's,
Make it out of time. Protest may come from.
There you
I'm gonna
go.
make it out to Richard, right?
so,
But I wanted to make sure it go, it's,
Right.
see, we're gonna put up, the black contractors put up 100, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put up another, 300. So that's 400 toward the Black Contractors Association.
right.
And it,
And that's where we want each of these
But I
organizations to
want it to go towards, I want a record that shows that this is what we're paying.
get. Right.
You taking it for me, Miss? Somebody taking it for me?
But, was you writing down, cause we got for $300, I mean, and then the 3 inspectors, so it's just the, and Sarah Beth gone out to get a check, but $100 from me is from the, committee to save Jefferson County. I'm gonna have to write this down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bean County rule on me?
Yes, sir.
On the Bean County? You gonna
Yes,
put the
sir.
Bean County rule on the Bean County? Okay, yeah, Dr. Huntley for the black professor, no, you from, 6th Avenue, curriculum committee. And Congressman is working, that's from the, not the, that's from coalition. Okay.
Did I spell your name right, man?
No.
It'll work,
What
well.
is your name? That's spell your
R-I-C-E. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they would even, yeah.
If it come back, I know it's.
Okay, all right. I still gotta go to that funeral at 11 too.
Hey, what's your name gonna be again?
It's just the Waterworks litigation, anything close to that'll be fine, I'm sure, yeah.
But, yeah, Attorney Richard Rice, R-I-C-E.
In the memo line though, yeah, but Miss Pat knows my name, I know she knows how to spell it.
But, okay, so how much, but you need a seat to, how much you get a seat?
Yeah, Brother Muhammad, let it be consistent, I'm just throwing my 2 cents in, but let it be consistent, whatever we have to write on the check. We don't want to have different things.
The memo or the actual person that paid?
The who to pay, who it's going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, if it's going to litigation, if it's going to the committee, State Jefferson County. So,
Well, they don't, the money could go to you, but you,
Yeah, I don't want to get it that confusing.
that's what I'm saying.
Till they
Right.
break it out to the, what's the account, what name is on the account?
Richard Rice, yeah.
Richard Rice.
Yeah.
Make it out.
Or the Rice Firm LLC, yeah.
Avenue.
Y'all know it's, every 823 years, it's,
How much is it paying? Yeah, she don't deal with check, so we don't know.
in the month of February, it's 4 Sundays, 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, and 4 Saturdays. Did y'all know that? It is this year. So you know that's the case.
But I give my 30 and I give my 70.
Brady, what's your name?
I said, McNeil. I just give me 5 from Black Country.
Okay.
Total 5. Yeah.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Total 5 from the Black Contract. Total 5.
That mean we can use some.
How much is it totally? 630? What's called right?
You say you give them 30 days, okay.
And we ought to be able to do this a week.